Hello, it's Paulina Demetrio here, and the standard I will be talking about addresses visual arts for grade level 3, unit 3, which is paced for 9 weeks and happens um, after winter break, which is why I picked it, because that's what I'm planning for. It is about creating 3D art using clay, and the standards for the state of Georgia for the visual arts department are broken up into creating, presenting, responding, and connecting. So a lesson is going to touch on all of these. I'm just going to read these standards. Engaging in the creative process to generate and visualize ideas by using subject matter and symbols to communicate meaning. Students will plan and participate in appropriate exhibitions of works of art to develop the identity of self as an artist. Responding using a variety of approaches for art criticism and critique personal works of art and the artwork of others to enhance visual literacy and develop life skills through the study and production of art through collaboration, creativity, critical thinking, and communication, those 21st century skills. So the big ideas embedded in the standard is kind of how it's broken down as is. That's like creating, presenting, responding, and connecting, the skills that we want the students to learn. More action words about how they will learn to do this are listed in a lesson plan. So concepts of terminology such as coils, kiln, slab, pinch pot, they're all taught in the how-to of making 3D art. The lesson I would do would probably be a coil pot. Students are creating a coil pot to study pottery as a form of functional art and how this has been used by artists throughout time and culture. So the introduction of this might just be visual images so that kids can see first, and the skills students are demonstrating to master the standard is the production of their coil pot, their final piece. And they'll hopefully end with some sort of reflection via a rubric. So it would be, that part I'll talk about later actually. Cross-curricular relevance happens through the transformation of clay. So we can touch on science there, how it dries out and then it gets fired at high temperatures to change its form. It could also happen in the discussion of world cultures. They might be looking at maps, geography. Literacy skills are developed in their rubrics at the end of the unit. So the coil pot is the project, and the activity is done to help them learn the 3D art content is through the tangibles, through the work that they'll be doing. We plan using a sketchbook, so that part of the lesson, the student looks for what they want to make, right? They're going to sketch it out. And whether I'm teaching virtually or in person, this part looks the same. The introduction, the planning part, if technology is accessible to all students, I would ideally have third grade students be looking at different cultures, examples, things that they're interested in. Samples are really important for visual arts, and they might find maps and facts and maybe even talk about the different types of clay based on where these cultures that they picked are in the world. In second grade, they learn the standard about what clay is made of. We've talked about that, so this might help them make more connections about how materials vary by location. Groups could be formed based on interests of where the students picked the culture. Breakout rooms would be used for virtual students to dive a little deeper if they've all picked a similar place. And the production will deviate for virtual kids. They might need to use what they have available. They might be using Play-Doh or building with air dry clay, and that would kind of change how we paint their pots. So just some different adaptations for the production element. And assessments for the standard would come at various points. Did the student plan in their sketchbook? That's a yes or no checkbox, probably on a rubric that they'll have access to at the beginning and know what's expected of them. Thumbs up and down to assess prior knowledge, creating a pinch pot is a prerequisite before you start adding coils around it. So I might need to know who knows this, who was at our school last year. This helps me determine how much time is spent teaching this skill. And differentiation becomes really important in assessing how the students are going to go over their rubrics, or if it was a reflection. Many of the students I see are usually below grade level for reading and writing, so I may not be grading this based on grammatical errors, and I would really need to know that they are understanding the rubric. So we might go over it step by step in a small group, or if it's more of the whole class, maybe we go over it step by step like that. They might need help writing sentences. I might pull students aside and give them a sticky note that starts a sentence for them, but they will still get to do the rubric part and develop their literacy skills through practicing at the end of our lesson. So again, the standard where students are creating 3D art using clay touches on creating, presenting, responding, and connecting. And I hope I covered everything. Thank you very much.